Welcome to another edition of Car Thoughts. And on this edition, we are going to talk about the Transformers. So, the 80s and 90s, 2000s, and even today have been crazy with Transformers. This series is one that has had many different pocket universes of Transformers. From cartoons, to animes, to video games, and comic books, and toys, and lunchboxes, and clothes, and tons of merchandise. And we're going to explore the in-depth universe on how it all began and what caused this rift between the Autobots and the Decepticons, and how Michael Bay kind of ruined a hero as we travel from here to there on this episode of Car Thoughts. So, let's start with the basics. In the very first Transformers, if you watch it, you have the Autobots and the evil Decepticons. But are they? Well, what makes the Decepticons evil? I mean, we're told this, but why? So, we got to go back to the beginning. So, Autobot society, or Cybertronian society, we should start there. Kind of reminds me of Roman society. You have the very wealthy on top, and then you have the working class doing all the work, the labor, and then they have gladiatorial pits. And the thing is, you had a particular lone warrior fighting for change, and his name was Megatronus. He fought his way to the top of the gladiatorial pits, and he was going out, speaking out about change. His belief was only the strong should rule, and the weak needed to step aside and let the strong rule, and change needed to happen this way. And a young bot who was part of the elite was listening to this. And this bot's name was Orion Pax. Now, I can't remember whether Orion Pax was a dock worker or he worked in records. That really doesn't matter. What matters is he became friends, and really good friends, with Megatronus. And the thing was that he convinced Megatronus to speak to the Cybertronian Council and to try to make change. Yeah, and the thing was that the council listened to Megatronus, but they heard Megatronus' message before. And this was the Council of Primes. And the Primes were not really interested in what Megatronus had to say. You know, might makes right, you know, change through force. And they just weren't ready for that. Then Prime spoke. Now, I don't really remember what Prime's message was. But Prime's message, and I'm calling him Prime because that's what we're used to hearing, but it was Orion Pax. Orion Pax's message was something so unique, so different to these Council of Primes, that they elected to make Orion Pax a Prime. Right there. Well, Megatronus felt very betrayed. Orion Pax got elected to the council, and Megatronus. Now, I don't know if this was. I don't remember if in the comics he storms out and comes back later and attacks the council, or he attacks the council right there. But he kills everyone except for maybe a handful of people. Well, Orion is one of the people who gets killed, but one bot steals Orion's body and takes him down. And now you can look up who it was. This bot's really important, but his name I can't recall. And retrofits Orion Pax into the form of Optimus. And he looks kind of the form that we know him today, and changes his name from Orion to Optimus. And this begins the start of the war. Megatronus shortens his name to Megatron, and he starts forming an army. Basically, you're either with them or you're with me, kind of a deal. So it's kind of where things start. Now, there's a lot of different battles that happen throughout the whole course of the hundreds, if not thousands of years that the Cybertronians were fighting. And of course they picked names for themselves, the Autobots and Decepticons, and resources start going low, and they have to start strip mining other planets for resources. And of course, depending on the cartoon series that you watch, because a lot of these cartoons are canon to the show, to the series, and the comic books are canon to the series, as well as your books are canon to the series, your video games are canon to a certain extent. I mean, their events, their license, I mean, it's all there to sell merchandise, so it's all kind of canon. So all this stuff leads to one big decision. You know, they're running out of resources on Cybertron. Cybertron's a dying planet. Now, what makes them leave the planet? Resources. That's a big storyline, is resources. Whether it's the mini-cons they're looking for, whether it's the Allspark, whether it's Energon, doesn't really matter. It's all resources. It's always why they left. Even in Beast Wars, it was a planetary disc. So let's head over to the live action movies. We kind of know why the war started. Kind of politics. Gone way wrong. Alright? Instead of using words, they just started fighting. So, in your first movie, Optimus Prime is the self-sacrificing hero that we kind of expect him to be. And he is willing to sacrifice himself Unfortunately, he seems to be also willing to sacrifice his own troops for the greater good. Not such a great thing, but I mean, it is what it is. But yet, that's the hero. It's all for the greater good. He's wanting to try to save humanity from the threat of Megatron. When it comes down to the second Transformer movie, Optimus, he's changed a little bit. He's a lot more aggressive. You start noticing that he's starting to become non-compromising. Instead of seeking out peace, like a leader should be seeking out, he's seeking out war. And he was more than willing to destroy, in the last movie, the one item that was going to save his own planet. So why is he so willing to destroy his own people rather than unite them? His people are dying out, and he's willing to instead of uniting them as a people and seeking out means to save them, he's still willing to keep the war going. Come the third movie, he's even worse. He's even more willing to destroy. And you know, the thing that I found is, after they destroyed the Allspark in the first movie, he calls everybody to Earth. Hey, this is our new home now. Come on down. And by the time the humans got tired of the Autobots and Decepticons fighting constantly, rather than trying to unite them, like you see done in some of the cartoon series, instead of telling them to leave Earth or try to make peace to try to leave Earth, he tells them, go into hiding. And, you know, he doesn't tell them to try to leave the planet or try to work out a deal to try to leave the planet. No, he tells them just lay low. And what did that get them? That got them destroyed. And he's just on it seems like Prime starts to go on a genocide run with the Michael Bay movies. It gets so bad that come age of its extinction, he's told that his maker is looking for him. And this is a being that's able to make more Transformers. And so what does he do? After yes, no, this was last night, I believe this was. He tries to kill his maker. Again, he's trying to completely extinguish the Cybertronian line, what's left of it. Then when, in the event that they were trying to bring Cybertron closer to Earth, because there was energon in the planet. He further damaged, yes, thankfully he did this because it saved Earth, but he further damaged Cybertron by destroying the gate. Now, granted, yes, two planets couldn't have survived next to each other. But every attempt to revive his planet and his people, Optimus has destroyed it and has just further put his people in harm's way. Now, I've talked to some people, and they pointed out that war changes a person, and he's been at it for a long time. But that doesn't quite explain how in only what seems to be maybe 30 years on the planet Earth, he goes from this hero to I'm here to wipe out my own people. But this seems to be Michael Bay's take on things. Michael Bay took what has a character that's always been a hero who strives to always do the right thing and who struggles to do the right thing even at the cost of himself. And made this Prime made him the worst character, like the exact opposite of who he was. And it just gets worse and worse as time's going on. Every single Michael Bay Transformer movie, Optimus Prime becomes more and more like Megatron. And until the Bumblebee movie came out, and the Beast War movie came out, or I should say Beast War equivalent movie came out, Optimus Prime was just, he was looking like a bad guy, a villain, instead of the hero. But hey, that was just my thought. That was just my thought for today. And thanks for coming with me on my ride as I traveled from here to there. Put your thoughts and comments below. Like and subscribe. Remember that you are loved and appreciated. And thanks for listening. Talk with you later.